Good morning again. Ralph E. Hartman here on the roadside, Geneva, write-in candidate for District 17, U.S. Representative. Back in around, I guess it was August of 1990, before I had much of any suspicion against the former stepfather, William B. Love, I was offered a little bit of work finishing a new house he was building out on Longboat Key, Norton Street. Well, it was a temporary stay to help put in the garage, siding on the outside, etc. So I agreed to the idea. One of the first details I noticed when I was there was a paperback book by the name of Maze, M-A-Z-E. Well, I don't remember the copyright date, but there was a interesting caption on it, part of the intro to the book, named "The President's Mind is Under Attack." So that got my attention right away, because something had started about a year before, well, a little bit more than about a year and a half, nearly 2 years before. As I mentioned before, when I was temporarily living on North Tamiami Trail, very loud, that includes psychic ability, blitz had started in traffic noise and spread into aircraft noise, etc. So understanding that, I had to kind of be careful, because it turned out to be that another detail was that I thought if I accepted the temporary work, that the former stepfather would hear the disturbance that I was experiencing, and that he might seek to offer me some advice. But it turned out to be that he was a participant, and that their ability to disrupt so badly originated from a couple of operations earlier in my life. So anyway, I stayed for a while there, but there was friction, and I learned that I never wanted to associate with him again, so I moved out in January, near the end of January of 1991. So anyway, as I said in the previous message, that after many years passed, I started to learn of previously secret details that began earlier in my life. And I mentioned first approximately 10 years before 1989. And the beginning detail, when I mentioned the name Maze and the intro caption of the particular book, partly points back to 1979. What happened back then was that there was a secret accusation started against me that I didn't learn about until 79, 89, 99. Nearly 30 years passed. I was visiting, I was living in Orlando at the time, where a man who I considered a friend from Sebring during high school arrived on his way to go to the Daytona 500 race, and asked if I'd like to go along. And so myself and another guy from Orlando that I worked with in Kmart decided to accompany, and we drove to Daytona Beach the night before the race, drank some beers in the infield, and then I slept in the back seat of my car outside of the infield. Well, what happened is kind of an embarrassment people don't normally like to talk about. I woke up early the next morning realizing that I had needed to get to a bathroom, but I didn't make it, and that the inside of my pants were soiled. So I hadn't thought about the idea of bringing anything extra with me. So what I needed to do is get my pants washed before the race would start. So I go ahead and detail about that in a report I sent to the Daytona Beach News Journal back in 2008. The only fact was, though it turned out that I was accused of doing something nasty in a motel room with another man, all I was doing was getting my jeans washed. It is true, though, like I said before, that persons of power and position pivoted on secret details, and that I also hadn't realized that there was any actual power in the extended family of this, of this situation. But as I mentioned briefly before, I many years later learned that the family of George Herbert Walker Bush's George Herbert Bush's wife, Barbara Rye, was actually related in some way to the family of William B. Love. So anyway, you might remember that I forget what year it was, but during the Bush administration that started in when was it? Bush administration. Was that 88 through 92? Well, that there was one day where he waded ashore on Daytona Beach, actually, and something eventually turned at the high water mark of his presidency, because there was an unusually high tide at the same time. So anyway, there might be a bit of a mystery about that incident, and maybe subject of an additional message in the future. But right now, this was to answer against the beginning of a secret conspiracy that accused that I had done something, pivoting on accusing that I did something nasty with another man in a Daytona Beach motel room. No, I didn't. And all of my experiences had only been with ladies instead.